So George, I gather it's been quite a few years since you came up with the initial idea to restart the Mad Max series. You must be completely over the moon that you now got a finished film and nearly ready to be unleashed on the world.
Yes, it was way longer than I thought it was. I mean, the idea popped in the back of my head. I kept on pushing it away. I didn't want to do another Mad Max movie. It kept growing. I eventually started. That was almost over 12 years ago. And it kept on falling apart. I made other movies, Happy Feets, and you couldn't kill it with a stick. It just kept coming back, and here we are. We finally finished.
I gather initially there was talk of Mel Gibson coming back to reprise the role of Max. What happened there? And was there any part of you that would have liked to have seen Mel back in the role? Or?
Well, we started the movie when he heard we were doing it. He got in touch and said, "Hey, let's do it." We're about not too far off shooting. There's still some pieces meant to be put in place, but then 9/11 happened. The American dollar collapsed against the Australian dollar. The budget ballooned. We moved on to Happy Feet. That took close to 4 years. And then by the time that happened, Mel was now in a lot of turbulence in his life. Tom Hardy was 6 weeks old when we shot the first Mad Max movie. He's still meant to be a young man. And Tom walked into the room and he had that same charisma and the same acting abilities that I recognized in Mel all those 30 years ago. And so it was obvious we should go with Tom.
And what about Charlize? She, of course, plays Furiosa. What can you tell us about her character and how she fits into this world?
Well, in this story, I wanted the MacGuffin not to be a thing but human, like human cargo. So there were the 5 wives, the only healthy creatures in the wasteland capable of breeding. They needed a champion. She had to be female, a female road warrior, and in a sense, Max and she are the antagonist, protagonist. At the beginning of the story, they really go at each other, and Charlize was the one to do it. She's got a lot of stature, both physically and in her spirit. She was an accomplished ballet dancer, so has all that physical discipline. She's able to convey emotion through gesture and so on. So, it was pretty impressive, and we did it all real world, real cars, real people, real desert, no CGI to speak of. Every event you see is real, and that sort of got into underneath the skin of the movie. It feels like we were really there. We were for a long time, 120 days of day after day of action, and it was pretty wild.
Yeah, I think that shows on screen as well. George Miller, pleasure to speak with you.
Yes, thank you so much.